Good afternoon, Titans, and welcome to this week's edition of Titan Sports. I'm your host, Tyra Majors, and beside me is Matthew Kirkland. And we're here to give you the latest scores, highlights, and everything else Titan athletics.
Sunday night ended in a draw for men's soccer as the Titans took on the San Diego Toreros. The Titans' Ross McPhee connected on a perfectly placed corner kick from Diego Sanchez to score a header early in the match. But it wasn't long before San Diego's Miguel Berry had his rebuttal. The second period and two overtimes that followed were not as exciting, and the match ended 1-1. The team will head into their final game before league play with a 4-3-1 record.
Titans volleyballs hit the road this weekend and participated in the Indiana State tournament. Friday, the Titans took on host Indiana State and went a full 5 sets before falling to the Sycamores 15-2. However, they were back on the court Saturday to play the Eastern Illinois Panthers. Titans Sheeman Fayad and Jalen Norman both posted 10 kills in the match, while Savannah Costello recorded a team-high 13 digs on the defensive end. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough as the Titans fell in 3 sets. Women's volleyball begins conference play with a match against Cal State Northridge on Tuesday the 19th at home.
The women's soccer team suffered a devastating loss on Monday due to a game-winning goal by Denver's own Meg Halverson late in the 80th minute. The Titans had the lead going into the second half thanks to goals from Atlanta Primus in the 24th minute and Samantha Comans in the 26th minute. However, the team couldn't seal the win by allowing 2 more goals and dropping the match 3-2. Women's soccer now finds themselves with a 5-2-2 overall record, but still holds the highest winning percentage in the Big West. Now it's time to give you a closer look into the soccer program here at Cal State Fullerton. Cal State Fullerton men's and women's soccer teams have found their form early in 2017. The men have won 4 and lost 3 in 8 games, while the women have only dropped 2 games out of their first 9 contests to kick off the season. Senior forward Sarah Fainer is a leader for the women's team. On the season, she has netted 3 goals and 2 assists for a total of 8 points so far. Fainer is a 4th-year player for the Titans, and she feels like this team has the potential to be special.
Personally and as a team, I've grown up coming to Cal State Fullerton games, and I grew up with watching the 2005, 6, and 7 teams. Those were the golden years here, and I want to have those years. I want to make history here, and so I want to do everything it takes so we can break records here.
Damian Brown is entering his 11th season as the head coach of the women's team and has high expectations for his group this season after bringing back 10 starters from a team that finished 3rd in the Big West and made it to the Big West Tournament semifinals last season.
I think we've gotten off to the start we were looking for. With the amount of leadership, seniors, and experience that we have, I knew that I was really hopeful that we'd be able to have the start like this. To be able to open up at home and then take 3 consecutive road games to this point isn't something that was daunting for us because of the leadership that we have.
With 7 of their 11 starters either in their 4th or 5th year on the team, the Titans will count on their experience and leadership throughout the season. But a sophomore from London, England could wind up being their most important piece. Forward Atlanta Primus leads her team in goals and points despite the adjustment of moving 5,000 miles to attend Cal State Fullerton. The Titan men are also playing well this season. Over the last 3 games they have won 2 and tied the other. Both victories were shutouts and came by a total goal differential of 5. The wins were important bounce-back games for the men, who had previously dropped 2 games in a row. The talented mix of incoming freshmen, transfer students, and returning players seems like they are starting to get comfortable with one another, and it is showing in their play. Redshirt junior forward Samuel Goney transferred last season from Bethel University in Texas by way of his hometown, Marcia, Navarra, Spain, but was injured and could not play. This season, he has already scored 2 goals for the Titans, with one of them winning the game against Wofford University earlier this season.
It felt so good because I was not really confident before the game before against Clemson. I don't think I played really well, and I needed a goal. I think it's going to help me for the next games. I think I could have scored 1 before. I think it was an easy chance. I should have scored. Other teammates, they had easy chances, but winning on overtime, I think it gives us more energy, more motivation for the next game and for the games that are coming up.
Along with the usual set plays and technical training during practice, men's head coach George Kuntz must focus on finding the right combination of players and personalities to be successful on the pitch in 2017.
Something happening. There's something dynamic happening with this group. It's like making a stew, right? So I've got the carrots and I'm starting to add the spices and I'm looking for that, just tasting it, trying to see how if it's a good stew. And sooner or later, we're going to have just the right boil, the right stew, and the right taste. And I think, like I said, hopefully sooner than later that we start balancing that and getting the finish. But again, the guys are still getting to know each other. We're trying to see what are the best rotations, who are the best combinations, and that's going to take a little while.
Both the Titan men and women will have a chance to get back into the winners column during their doubleheader at home on Friday. The men will play UNLV at 5 p.m. in Titan Stadium, while the women will take on the University of San Diego at 7:30 p.m. The Titans will have to continue their winning ways if they want to have both the men and women represent the school at the NCAA tournament this year, just like they did 2 years ago in 2015. For everyone at Titan Sports, I'm Matthew Kirkland.
Now we'll send it off to Brandy for this week's roundtable discussion. Take it away, Brandy.
Hello, everyone. I'm your roundtable host, Brandy Flores, and with us today we have a special guest, Kyra Smith from the women's volleyball team. Hi, Kyra. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for coming in and talking with me today.
Of course.
Now, you guys are starting conference soon. Preseason's over, out the way, and done with. What's one thing that you think that your team has that can really set you guys apart from the rest of the teams?
Setting us apart from the rest of the teams would definitely be one of our serving and our passing. Like, we've done so well in pre-conference play with our passing, but we plan to be one of the best serving teams in Big West.
Wow, that's great. That's good news to hear. As far as hitting, you guys have been going through a lot of rallies, so you guys are hitting the ball really hard, just not in those certain places to get the kill. What do you think should be that change that way you can get more kills?
We definitely need to focus on tooling the block, like working the edges and using people's hands, because we are an undersized team, but we have lots of power. But to be just more strategic in where we place the ball, not just hitting like with all of our power straight to the floor. Although those are the pretty kills, but we need the strategic ones as well.
Yeah, points are all that matters. Doesn't matter how you get them, really.
Yeah.
But also, your coach is fairly new still. She came in about, a few years ago, I want to say. What do you think, personally, as a volleyball player, what has she instilled in you that has helped you the most or benefited you the most in your game?
What has helped the most is just her ability to always tell us, one, to have confidence. That's a big key term, like, on our team. Like, it's a belief on our team that, like, you can't play a good game if you're not confident. And so that's what she pushes throughout, like, the whole team and the whole year, is how to be confident, how to be, like, a strong woman, like, on the court. Like, when you get on the court, no one can budge your confidence. And, like, also that comes through, like, talking, because the more that we talk, like, the more we know what's going on the court, and we can be, like, assertive in our positions and know what's going on.
That's awesome. So now that preseason's done, I know talent's different. You guys play more completely different teams than you do in conference. Yeah. Who are you most excited to play? Who are you just aiming to get at? You just want to beat them?
I would definitely have to say Long Beach and or Irvine, because the past 2 years that I've been here, Irvine, we always just go at it really scrappy, and it's always like a 5-game set. And like past couple years, we've fallen to them. But this year, I'm like ready to get in the gym and like go after them. Like, it's so exciting just to think about it, because every year you know that when we step on that court, like, and especially at their home, that it's always going to be like a good gritty fight. And also just because Long Beach is our rival, so we always want to be like, yeah. We won.
Always wanted to take those rivals down. And you have been hurt recently. You recently got hurt. You hurt your shoulder. What's your when are you coming back? What's your projected?
So I won't be back till next season. This season I'm projected to take a redshirt year. We're trying to get me back right now, seeing if I'm able to play through the pain or if it's just time for another surgery. But yeah, so right now I'm working hard in physical therapy. I've been practicing the last couple days in practice, but not yet to see the game floor.
Right. Is it still like irritating you a little bit as you swing around?
It's still like unstable. So I have mainly instability in my shoulder, and it can't track itself properly. So after I take a couple swings, I start to use all the wrong muscles, and it can't control itself the right way.
Oh.
And it leads to a high chance of a tear in my shoulder.
Got it. Well, that's sad to hear, but at least, what do you think? So far you've been on the sidelines then during a few of these preseason games. What have you noticed just being on the sideline? What have you noticed from your team?
Wow, the game like changes so much when you're on the sideline. I've just noticed that, well, from the last year, like now we have definitely better energy. We can be more consistent. But when it comes down to like a first set, definitely noticing that we can start faster and be more aggressive. And also I've just learned and have been seeing like how our block is normally really strong, but we need to work a little bit harder to press over and key in on these hitters.
And when you're on the sidelines, like during games, and you talk to your players as they come in and out, is that something that you relate to them? Or are you kind of like a third ear, basically, besides the coaches?
Yeah, for sure. I'm act more of like an outside eye because you can't really see everything that's going on as it's moving so fast. I'm more talkative towards like the hitters and the blockers because I can see where you have open shots and like whose hands can you use and which blockers are the weakest. So definitely it's easy for me to come in with the middles because I play the middle position and let them know like, hey, like hit at the setter, like she's deep or she's in the back, and like all of us as a group normally like take that in consideration and go for it.
That's good. That's still great then. Now you can still help out your team even though you're down for now. Hopefully you can come back. That'd be great news. But so that's still good that you're able to help out your team in any possible way you can. So now to end this little interview, we're going to have some fun questions for you.
Okay.
What is your pregame ritual? What do you eat? What do you listen to? Do you do anything different? Do you wash your socks? Do you not?
Okay, so for me, pregame ritual is one, my hair has to be in a bun and it has to be gelled back and it has to be perfect. Shirt has to be tucked in. High chance I'm listening to anything YG or Ludacris. Sometimes some EDM, depending on the day. But definitely, there's like this 10-minute period before the game. Our whole team takes our headphones off and we just be a team. Like we have like a huge party in the locker room, make sure like we're all connected and it's time to go on the court, like, and it's all fun. What do I eat? Before a game, I try to eat good at least two days before the game. My eating habits are a little interesting, but definitely a lot of protein. I like chicken, grilled chicken preferably, and broccoli, and probably some brown rice, definitely for lunch. And for dinner the day before, most likely some type of fish and maybe a pasta.
Ooh, nice.
But not white sauce because, I don't know, it makes you feel heavier, but yeah.
That's cool. And then who is your number one sports role model? Who do you look up to the most?
I would definitely say Destiny Hooker from the USA women's volleyball team. Just because, like, she's a great figure, just, like, as a woman and as an athlete. And, like, you never see her break under pressure. And, like, her tenacity and how she works hard in the gym is just impeccable to me.
Yeah, she's a beast.
Yeah.
And then you are in college.
Yes.
That's why you're here. So what are your career aspirations?
I want to go into the social work field right now. I'm a sociology major, but plan to get my MSW.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Kyra. I had a great time. All right, sounds like things are looking up for our Titans. That's all for today's roundtable. Coming up, we have Alexia Guayo with the Titan Timeline.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexia Guayo. Here are the upcoming games for your Titan Athletics. First, men's soccer will play Las Vegas this Saturday, September 23rd, here at 5 p.m. before traveling up to Santa Barbara to face them on September 28th at 7 p.m. After that game, men's soccer will come back down to Cal Poly Pomona to face them on September 30th at 7 p.m. For the women's side, women's soccer will play on September 22nd here against San Diego at 7:30 p.m., here against Grand Canyon University on September 24th at 5 p.m., and here against CSUN on October 1st at 5 p.m. Women's volleyball will play 2 days straight this weekend. The ladies will play at Cal Poly on September 22nd at 7 p.m., and will play at UC Santa Barbara on September 23rd at 7 p.m. Then women's volleyball will come back home to face Hawaii on September 29th at 7 p.m. and Bakersfield on October 3rd at 6 p.m. Those are your upcoming games for your Titan Athletics. Thank you for joining me for this week's Titan Timeline. My name is Alexia Guayo.
That's it for this week's episode of Titan Sports. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out our previous installments on our Titan Sports YouTube channel.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CSUF Titan Sports, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with all things Titan athletics. On behalf of the Titan Sports team, I'm Tyra.
And I'm Matthew.
And thanks for watching. Remember to keep those tusks up, and we'll see you next time.